And this Express offensive line is going to have to give McDonald a little more time if they're going to be successful.
It looked to be a good cause. I think they had two receivers crossing here on the near sideline and one receiver, 00, Richard O'Craig, breaking open, but it was just well defended by the Rampage. And now we will get to see number 4, Carl Davis, as a starting quarterback for the first time this year in favor of Mike McDade. And there's movement along the line again. There's definitely movement on the defensive side of the ball. However, I think this time it will go against the Rampage.
Yeah, I believe it's going to go against Rampage too, as the Express man jumped offside in the neutral zone, but he has the time to get back. Well, they're going to call it along the Express. The only thing I can think of is that he made contact with the center, and once you make contact, then that's defensive encroachment, and that stops the play.
So that will give the Rampage an extra 5 yards. I believe the ball should be just shy of the 5-yard line, so they could get a first down even without scoring the touchdown here. And the give is to number 3, the big man, Ed Canty, and he is fighting for yardage. And it took several Sugarland Express defenders to stop him. And after all the running and darting that he did, he finally ends up at about the line of scrimmage. So we'll call it second down and about 5. Before I tell you, he is exciting to watch, you know?
He leveled a couple of the defensive linemen for the Express. He's probably bigger than half the defensive line there for Sugarland.
Probably, and they have him lined up in the tailback position now, which means they should be calling his number a lot. And that is nothing but bad news for the Express. This time it's the first man through, number 34, Reggie Jackson, and he too is stopped right at the line.
Now he fumbled it. It's Sugarland's ball.
And so, not only was he stopped at the line, but they got the ball away from him too. So, you know, the Sugarland defense, they came in. Yeah, they were between a rock and a hard place, giving the ball right there in the 11-yard line to the Rampage offense, but they did the job. Even after giving them a 5-yard encroachment penalty, they showed no fear against those big backs of the Texas Rampage.
Yeah, we mentioned how Canty ran over a couple of players, but it was also a good job by the Express defense to swarm the ball to make sure Canty didn't get anywhere, and a great job by the interior linemen and the linebackers of going and trying to strip the ball out of Reggie Jackson's hands, and did a good job of falling on it, giving the Express the ball back.
Well, things cannot be happy on the side of the Texas Rampage. You're given the ball right there after a big turnover, 11 yards from pay dirt, and if you can't cash in, that's just not good. You have to be able to cash in on those plays. So now McDonald brings the Express up, and he gives the ball straight ahead. Can't quite tell which player that is yet, as now he gets up, and it was number 31. That would be your running back, Marcus J. McPeters. He's 5'8", 240 pounds. Got him from the United States Army, Patrick.
Yeah, you mentioned about those players, how they came out here and served his duty. And you know that those guys coming out of the Army are going to be tough guys.
And this time, 2 wide receivers come to the near side with a man in the slot. 2 wide receivers up to the top of the screen. Shotgun formation. McDonald takes the snap in his own end zone. He rolls right, and he's going to run with it, and he's got room to run. Cuts it back, and he is across the 20-yard line. That's first down yardage for the Sugarland Express.
Good job by McDonald to, and his late flags fly, but good job by McDonald to roll out and avoid the safety and get some positive yards at the first down. And as what happened in the last telecast, Robert, a lot of extracurricular activity down there on the sidelines.
Yes, we have extracurriculars. And the officials break it up quickly, and now we'll wait to see who exactly will be penalized as they spot the ball. And we're going to wait the call from the official. Dead ball, personal foul against the Rampage. So after the great scramble by quarterback Dwight McDonald, 15 extra yards tacked on, and still a first down, and we'll wait to see exactly where they spot the ball. And coaches will tell you, cooler heads prevail. You have to keep your head, keep your wits about you, especially at this early stage of the game. Game goes on for 4 quarters, 60 minutes, and if you're losing it now, you're not going to be able to help your teammates out. Looks like the 37-yard line. That is where the Express will set up shop. Same formation, shotgun with one back, 2 wide receivers split to either side. McDonald takes the snap and drops back, wants to throw it this time, and he is almost picked off again. This time it was by number 58, Mike Sims. He is the linebacker out of Southwest Texas State University, and just couldn't quite haul it in.
McDonald once again with not too great of a pass. He threw it in a triple coverage and behind his receiver, and it hit Sims right in the hands. He should have made the pick, but McDonald's going to have to make a couple better decisions if he wants to move this Express team through the air.
Be interesting to see what they come out with here. The running game hasn't looked bad for him. Of course, McDonald had the big scramble a few plays ago. Maybe they'll line up in a passing formation again and decide to run it. And they stay with the shotgun, and now the whistle is blown by the referee, and that is a good thing for the Express because the snap was way over the head and through the hands of Dwight McDonald. I have a feeling it could be delay of game against the Express. No, it looks like a timeout is charged to the Express. I don't think they had the right number of personnel on the field. I think that could be it. There seemed to be some confusion about who should be in and who should be on the sideline.
Yeah, and before the timeout, though, they called a false start on the Express offense. But like you said, it was a good deal that there was a penalty in that play, as that ball was just shot through McDonald's hands and would have been disastrous for Sugarland if they would not have had a penalty.
Well, there's our situation. We are scoreless in the first quarter of play. 9 minutes, 33 seconds remaining, and we are at Hagar Stadium, just here on the campus of Jesuit Prep. And there was indeed a penalty. 5 yards, illegal procedure against the Sugarland Express. So they will be backed up 5 to right about the 30-yard line, where it'll be second down, and 15. Here come the Express to the line of scrimmage. They're sticking with shotgun formation with 2 wide receivers on each side. One back, and again the snap is over McDonald's head, but he fields it on the hop, being chased now. And he takes off. Boy, talk about making something out of nothing. He gets across the 40 to about the 42. That turns into positive yardage. He got about 7 of those yards back, so it'll turn out to be about 3rd down and about 8.
That was a carbon copy snap from the penalty play. I mean, it just shot right through McDonald's hands once again, and he did a wonderful job of, like you said, making something out of nothing, as he had a couple of the Rampage defensive linemen right on his tail, and all he did was just outrun him and pick up a nice gain for what could have been a disaster for the Express.
This may be semi-pro football sports fans, but there's no shortage of talent here, as Dwight McDonald shows that he's got some mobility and some breakaway speed there. Big scramble, and this time he lines up under center. They're not wanting to risk that deep snap anymore, and no sooner do I say that than he backs up. It's high again, but he contains it, and it looks like he wants to take off again, and he almost broke free. I think he lost yardage from the line of scrimmage on that play, actually. So now turn out to be 4th down and long for the Sugarland Express.
And if Chris Coleman doesn't barely make the shoestring tackle on McDonald, he could be going and still going for the Sugarland Express. Chris Coleman did a good job of just diving down and hitting his feet and tripping up McDonald for no gain.
And that should indeed be fortunate for the Texas Rampage, as they now force the Express into a punting situation. They have number 21, Jimmy Hooker, lined up back deep to receive. He's out of East Texas State. And lined up in punting formation for the Sugarland Express is number 83. And the whistle blows once again. And the official says another timeout has been charged to Sugarland, and if that is true, that would be their third and final timeout of the first half.
Sugarland has just been in disarray this whole game, and they've been so confused on what they need to do that they've already had to burn all 3 of their timeouts, and that could come up huge here later in the half.
And we're not sure exactly the call, whether it was indeed a timeout. I don't think it was a timeout because they're back to the line in an awful hurry here. Number 25, Javon Hawkins, is now lined up as the punter. He gets the snap, gets away a line drive knuckler of a punt that's fielded by Hooker just shy of the 30-yard line. He breaks free on the left side and is forced out of bounds at about midfield. And the Rampage will take over there. 7 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first quarter. We are still scoreless.
Hooker showing his breakaway speed there. He made a good play a good move rather, when he first fielded the punt to get away and then broke outside. Some good speed by Jimmy Hooker over there on the far sideline.
Definitely good speed, and the Sugarland Express, you said they've been in disarray, but it just seems to be the little things, getting the right personnel in and out of the game, getting the play set. Other than that, they've looked good, especially when they tried to run the ball. This time, number 4, Carl Davis, brings the Rampage up. I formation behind him, and now we have movement again, and it looks to be on the offense. I have a feeling that will cost the Rampage 5 yards, but we'll wait for the official. It will indeed be against the Texas Rampage. Number 34, Reggie Jackson, lined up at the fullback. He's out of Arkansas Tech. Behind him, number 3, Ed Canty, the big man. Of course, both of those guys go about 250, so it's really hard to say which one's the big man. They are both big, as now Jackson is getting to see a lot more playing time at running back. 2 wide receivers come to the near side. They are number 1, Bernard Stiggers, and number 48, Eric Scott, as there's movement again along the line. Oh my goodness. Well, that kind of thing tends to happen. It's early in the ball game here. And, the Rampage offense hasn't been out here terribly much tonight. So,
yeah, you got a good point. And if I'm Carl Davis now in the huddle of the Rampage, I'm like, all right, we're going on a quick count, okay? No more long counts. We're going on plain and simple hut. And when I say hut, let's all go.
handoff to the big man, Ed Canty.
Nice hole created there by the Texas Rampage offensive line to give Canty the ability to gain back some of those yards that they've had on 2 consecutive false start penalties. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 15 for the Texas Rampage. And now's a time where they need to get something started and try to move down and score a touchdown here.
Penalties have twice hurt the Rampage on this drive before they could even run one play. So now Davis is back to pass, and he acted like he wanted to run. And I think the Sugarland defense picked it up immediately, as it was number 72 who pulled him down. Number 92.
Great job by the defensive line of the Sugarland Express to get in there and put pressure on Carl Davis. And this offensive line, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, they're going to have to give Davis a couple more ticks to let him throw.
I think it was number 72, Bobby Attaway, who came in from his left defensive end position and pulled him down. And Attaway that time was a little too anxious, as there's movement once again, folks, believe it or not, along the line. We'll wait again to see what the call is in this situation. This time it's encroachment against the Sugarland Express, so Texas Rampage will get back 5 of those yards they lost previously on an illegal procedure penalty. And now the signal is given to start the clock. The wide receivers to the near side are Bernard Stiggers, number 1, and number 48, Eric Scott. shotgun formation with one back in the backfield. Or, sorry, not a shotgun, actually. He's under center. But Davis lets fly, and contact downfield is number 88, Ollie Guidry, and number 6, a defensive back for the Sugarland Express, Kurt Martin. There's contact between the two of them downfield, and we will now await the call from the official. Judging by the reaction of the Sugarland players, I have a feeling it's defensive interference.
And there's also a flag here at the line. There's going to be offsides regardless of what the other penalty is.
Encroachment on the Express, that is declined, of course, in favor of defensive pass interference. That's a spot foul. They will get the ball at the spot of the foul and first down. So large chunk of real estate there on that one penalty for the Texas Rampage, and once again they are within sniffing distance of the Express end zone. Stiggers comes split to the near side. I formation in the backfield behind Carl Davis. Takes the snap and gives to Canty off the left side of the line. The big man breaks through, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown for the Texas Rampage. That play covered 24 yards.
Ed Canty shot through that hole like a burst of lightning, Robert. I tell you what, he showed he's got some speed and he's light on his feet. And then whenever he had to use the power, he used it at the end of that run. A great job by Ed Canty to get in the end zone for the Texas Rampage.
Ed came with 4 minutes, 41 seconds left in the first quarter. As you see, we now had the try for the PAT. Number 16, Brad Bridges, out of Navarro Junior College, is on for the try. Snap is high, but he gets it down. And Bridges splits the uprights. That makes the score now the Texas Rampage 7 and the Sugarland Express nothing.
Now the Express need to come back out and get this football, and they need to put together a drive. They don't necessarily need to score, but they need to put together a drive where they don't have any mental mistakes. They have no problems getting personnel in and out, and they've got no problems with getting the play set. They needed to successfully move the ball and get a couple first downs to kind of restore some confidence in McDonald and his offensive line and his offense, period, for them to start being successful. So the Rampage also, in turn, though, need to come back and they need to try to keep Sugarland down while they've got them and play some tight D.
Well, I think when Sugarland comes back out for its next offensive series, I think the plan they should stick to ought to be pretty simple. Just run the ball, especially with quarterback Dwight McDonald, and if not him, let him turn around and hand off to some of those guys behind him as we see, the sideline for the Sugarland Express. Their head coach trying to get things going for them, trying to keep the troops steady, not let them get down despite the fact that they're now trailing 7-0. Bridges now has the ball teed up. Gets the signal from the official.
Get in the box, get in the box.
Kick is fielded about the 6-yard line by number 2, Dwayne Armstrong. He's got room to run on the right sideline, but is forced out of bounds quickly by number 11, James Foster of the Rampage. He got across the 30-yard line, so not bad starting position for the Sugarland Express on this drive. Dwight McDonald and company coming out on the field. And on that touchdown play for Ed Canty and the Texas Rampage, a huge hole opened up on the left side of that line. And once Mr. Canty hits that hole and gets into the secondary, he is awfully tough to bring down.
Definitely. He probably doubles in size some of the defensive backs that Sugarland has, and so he's definitely at a big advantage when he gets to that secondary.
And showing that for a big man, he has good breakaway speed as well. This time it's McDonald, one back behind him, 4 wide receivers in the game. He throws quickly and almost intercepted. The ball was in and out of the hands of, looks like number 21, Hooker. And it turns out to be number 11, James Foster, who actually had the coverage over on that side of the field. McDonald was going for a quick strike to number 88, Oliver Taylor, a wide receiver out of Conroe High School in Conroe, Texas. And they have a similar set again. 1 back, 4 wide receivers. McDonald wants to throw again. Flushed out of the pocket to the left side, and he is not able to get it off as number 93, Gregory Peace, corralled him. Loss was back to about the 22-yard line. We'll wait for the official spot. They're going to spot it at 24.
And the Rampage defense secondary especially is doing a great job of keeping these Express receivers in check.
Yeah, already we've seen 1 interception. There could possibly have been a total of 3 interceptions already. Some of these guys on the Texas Rampage have been able to hold on.
Come on, baby, make it happen.
But the Sugarland Express showing they are not afraid to gamble here in the early going. And now they want the shotgun again. 1 back, 4 wide receivers as McDonald awaits the snap. And now it looks like he backed up a little bit too soon.
All 4 receivers took off at the same time and nobody else moved. It's kind of a weird play that happened there.
And that'll back him up 5 more. And it's 3rd down and long, we'll say. Ball spotted at the 19-yard line, and they need to get to about the 43, so we'll call it 3rd down and 24. Clock running here in the first quarter. We're under 3 minutes. Coming to the near sideline, number 00, Richard O'Craig, and number 2, Dwayne Armstrong, wide receivers. 2 more wide receivers split to the top of the screen. One of them was number 81, Darren Elkins. And now we have a delay of game penalty that will cost the Express 5 more yards. So once again, the problem is getting the plays called, getting the personnel in the game and getting them set. We've seen a lot of this here in this first quarter.
Just a lot of mental mistakes by both teams, as it may be pregame jitters, I'm not sure, but they need to polish this up.
They haven't looked bad when they have gotten the play off, and look at this. Here's McDonald showing some quick moves, and he ran the ball to the 36, 37-yard line, and he ends up being only about 6 yards shy of the first down on what was 3rd down and about 28, 29.
Jimmy Hooker needs to pick up a new pair of shoes, as he was faked out of his by the quarterback McDonald on that play. An incredible move by the quarterback McDonald on Jimmy Hooker as he's going back now to receive the punt. But I tell you what, McDonald has looked impressive when he's got a chance to run with the ball tonight.
He certainly has. Of course, it takes 11 to play football. We certainly can't say that, McDonald should be doing it all for the Express. Of course, they've tried to throw the ball maybe more than they should have, and they still need to get the kinks worked out at their passing game. As number 25, Devon Hawkins, is in punt formation. He gets the snap. Not much of a rush. He gets this punt off better than before. It's high. Fielded off 1 bounce by Jimmy Hooker. And he bounced off some folks and was able to get the ball to cross midfield. It looks like it looked for a moment there as if he were going to be stopped right about the spot he fielded, about the 37, 38-yard line. But instead, he was able to break free and get across the 50-yard strike.
Yeah, I agree with you, Robert. I saw him get hit there at the 37-yard line, and I was thinking, wow, that was an incredible hit. But he broke off of it and brought it out across the 50-yard line and into Express territory. A nice run back by Jimmy Hooker.
It was a good run, and that was a good hit. We could hear it up here. But Hooker, with his good size, was able to bounce off. I formation and 2 wide receivers now, as they give to number 3, Ed Canty, on the draw play.
And Robert, as we see Ed Canty pick up a nice 5 or 6 yards on that play, we've not seen Mike Moore in the game yet. It makes me kind of wonder if he's injured. Whenever they had the pregame introductions and they said Mike Moore's name, he didn't run out there. So it makes me wonder if he's injured or if he's not here tonight. But we'll try to find that out.
We haven't received word, but yes, something must definitely be going on there. Davis gives to Canty once again, this time on the left side, and he breaks it right up the middle to about the 33-yard line. That's good for a Rampage first down.
I tell you what, Canty really is quick on his feet. For being 250 pounds, he can really shoot through those holes. And even though Moore hasn't been in there, they haven't lost much, if any, with Canty back in the tailback. As the last time we saw him, Canty was the lead blocker, but now he's just getting the bulk of the carries.
Of course, when you've got number 34, Reggie Jackson, you have two backs that are pretty much the same size there. Jackson actually a little bit taller, but they're equal in weight. So you've got just another big body to open up the holes. A whistle once again. I wonder if maybe the Rampage took too long. Nope, the Rampage did not take too long. Instead, believe it or not, it is the end of the first quarter of play. With our score, the Texas Rampage 7 and the Sugarland Express nothing. We'll be back right after this word, folks. And we're back to action here, starting the second quarter of play. It's Texas Rampage 7 and the Sugarland Express nothing. Here's the give straight ahead to number 34, Reggie Jackson, I believe.
Yeah, they decided to go with the first man through, and it was a good job, a good play call, actually, because they had been giving the ball to Canty time and time again, that the linebackers and the defensive players for the Express started keying on Canty, so they kind of mixed it up with Reggie Jackson.
In our situation again, we are at Hagar Stadium on the campus of Jesuit Prep here on the north side of Dallas. This is the Texas Rampage semi-pro team going against the team from Sugarland. Calls himself the Express. And the Texas Rampage leads 7-0. And repeat after me, folks. Movement along the line. I think this time it will be on the defense, and it is indeed encroachment. I could hear the official say number 72. That would be Bobby Attaway. And he's pleading his case to the referee now. And that's first down yardage for the Texas Rampage. So number 72, Bob Attaway, the defensive end. And for that penalty, you certainly can't say Attaway, Bobby. Just to refresh your memory, folks, because it was such a long first quarter, he is Patrick Cortez, I am Robert Eicher, and we are your tag team for the commentary here at tonight's game.
We got false start offense. We got false start offense.
So no sooner do the Rampage get 5 yards than they give back the 5 yards. Now they won't be faced with, it's still first down, and now 15. Carl Davis, number 4, is your quarterback for the Texas Rampage. He drops back to pass and is rushed, but gets it off. He did get the pass off quickly. It was intended for number 48. That would be Eric Scott. They have him listed here as a running back, but he's been lining up as a tight end or wide receiver. He's been kind of both, depending on the alignment. He was going deep over the middle on that play, and he had the ball right in his hands and just dropped it straight down to the ground. He just could not haul it in.
It hit him in the wrong place, Robert, the hands.
The give this time to the big man, one of the big men, I should say. I believe that's Canty. Short gain on that play. It will bring up third down and long. play comes in now to Davis. Split backs behind him, 2 wide receivers to the right. Davis wants to pass. He's forced out of the pocket on the right side, looking for room to run. He's making some quick cuts and maneuvers there. He was about 5-6 yards shy of the first down.